noble. How does he do this? He says, I'll start a computer institute, I will make computer technicians. That's all I will do. So vision is clear, very noble. Method is very clear, I will make computer technicians. So, and this is a real company. I have consulted this company and I'm working with them right now. And while we were discussing, I said, okay, next year's target, 2010 target, what's your target? And this target was 200 crores. And I said, okay, what will translate into 200 crores? How will you make that money? He says, if 100,000 youths come into our institute and go through our institute, I will make 200 crores. Then I asked him the question. So every day in the morning when you pick up the phone and you ask your sales head, what is the question that you ask him? And he says, I ask him, sales kitna hua? How much was the sale? How much was the sale over last year? So basically what I said, what have you asked? I said, he has asked how much Lakshmi has come in. The question he has asked is, how much Lakshmi has come in? He has not asked how many students were employed. They mean this, the two numbers mean the same thing. 200 crores means exactly the same thing as 100,000 employable youths. But the question which the head of the organization is asking is, how much sales has happened, rather than how many students were employed. What is he looking at? You see, we talk about Excel sheets and measurability and monetizability. In effect, in that one question, he has dehumanized his business. He has monetized it and dehumanized it. He has stopped looking at you. He has started looking at yours. So what is a student? Nothing more than a share of wallet. That's what the student is reduced to, a number. The other one is also a number. Two numbers meaning exactly the same thing, but qualitatively, dramatically different. Imagine if every day I ask you, how many students have we employed today? How many students have been employed because of us today? 100, only 100. What is the growth rate? Only this much. Imagine what impact it will have on the teacher, the trainers. He goes home and tells his wife, what have you done today? And he says, I made sales of 200 crores versus, you know what, I employed 100,000 people. That one question changes his self-worth, his self-esteem, his self-reliance. He feels good about himself. So by that one question that the leader has asked, he has transformed not only himself, but his entire organization. He has made a qualitative shift, and it does nothing to his bank balance. The bank balance is still rising. Lakshmi is still coming. It's not either or. It's both. It's just a shift. You see, observe the gaze. There are two options over here. There's employability, fees, sales, and equity. If I focus on the fees and the sales, employability, nothing happens. That's the problem with the company. The people who come out of the institute are not really employable. The market is not happy with them. In fact, they are promised salaries of 8,000 when they join the course, but when they actually go into the market, they get barely 3,000 rupees because that's what the value is. So everybody is now going around the market and saying, don't join this institute, waste of time. You don't get a job at the end of the investment that you put into the company. And I said, look at the question that you asked. If you only focused on employability, fees will come, sales will happen, equity will happen. Lakshmi will come. You will be secure in your position as the organization which fulfills its promise. A fundamental shift that one is asking for. You see, and this fundamental thing is what we don't do. Very simple thing. You see, what matters to us? You, yours, mine, me. If it is yours and mine, it's Indra's gaze. We will always chase the number, chase the rain. You know, we talk about rainmakers. You chase the rain. But if I focus on people, the ultimate customer, the rain will come. It has to come. Look at Venkateshwara. I found this image and found it very interesting. On one side, you have a chakra being held. On the other side, you have a conch shell being held. And I wonder whether the gods are offering us a choice. Cycle, Devasur Sangram, chase Lakshmi, lose Lakshmi, chase Lakshmi, lose Lakshmi, chase Lakshmi, lose Lakshmi, or transform, change, grow. Grow at an intellectual level, grow at an emotional level, grow at a material level, at all flavored levels. So on one side you have a cycle, on one side you have a spiral, and you are asked which way is up. Look at the Namam, it always goes up. Options are provided to us. Do we want to transform, or do we want to be like Indra in the same cycle, the same merry-go-round? Perhaps this is the notion of moksha at a material level, of transforming, of breaking free from the old patterns, of every year improving ourselves intellectually, emotionally, and financially. It is not only finance, it is also finance. That's the fundamental shift one is talking about. You see, every choice has consequences. We have to choose what we want to be. Do we want to be Indra? It's a choice. It's a valid option. It is being offered with one hand. Or we want to be Vishnu, that's another offer. That is also a valid choice. You see, we have many lives to lead. And Vishnu has ample patience. So the question is, where do we want to go? You see, that is the mythology in business. Depending on what you believe in, your behavior will change. If the CEO of the Computer Academy believes in this, the question that he will ask his sales head will change, and that will impact his business. But it is all a matter of belief. What do you believe in? And if you choose not to believe, if you choose to say that, no, Harvard doesn't say so. This is all primitive, ancient Indian thought. And we have to check whether Harvard Business School says so, or whether Oxford says so, or Cambridge says so. And I mean, come on, you can't give evidence in Purans. It's too an option. We can choose. And if we don't believe, who loses? And I think that is why we are told to do Namaste. Because it is to recognize the potential in all of us. The potential that is Aham Brahmasmi. That we can construct our world. We can choose to be Indra and chase Lakshmi. And we can choose to be Vishnu and get Lakshmi coming to us. Visualize this. A country of leaders who walk, and wherever they go, fortune follows. Visualize the possibility of a country where everybody says, get this man and fortune will follow. If that's the promise of a business school, then we will all flock there. And that's my vision for tomorrow. Thank you.
The floor is now open for questions.
Effort in future group from the Vedanta and Upanishad, if so, what it is? The only structured effort is related to mythology, and that's what I do. And it is not restricted to the future group, and that's one of the reasons I'm here. We are given access to all organizations. I just don't work with future group, it works with everybody, and the structured approach is based on mythology.
Excuse me. Now you have put belief. Whether we have to believe the skill and knowledge of a person.
Sorry, I can't see. Yes, sir.
Whether we have to believe the skill and knowledge of a person or his attitude.
You see, the question is, what do you define who he is? If you feel he is about his skills, then you focus on the skills. If you feel he is about his knowledge, then you focus on his knowledge. If you feel what is about him is his attitude, then focus on that. The question is, what is your definition of what he is? It all comes down to what you believe, and that is very particular to you. There's no universal answer. You have to decide what you believe makes up a human being. If you believe it is attitude, then it is attitude. If you believe it is knowledge and skills, then it is knowledge and skills. It depends upon you.
So it is in belief, people think that it is a negative skill and knowledge may be there, but it as attitude is in a positive way, then how you can go about it?
See, these are judgments. I mean, everybody has different kinds of opinions. So there is no one answer out there. It's the leader who has to decide what answer he chooses. And that's what leadership is about, is deciding the answer. So I can't give you a prescription. I can give you a framework. The decision will be always yours. That's why you are the leader. I am just a consultant.
Then coming to your point, you said that Indra is always does not believe that. The farmers look at the sky and they receive the rain. With the belief they show the card that they will get the Lakshmi.
Okay.
Again, they face lot of problem because the vagaries of the monsoon in India plays a vital role. How do you answer to these questions?
I mean, I'm not quite sure what you said. I mean, they look at Indra. What are they chasing? I'm not sure what the question is.
See, farmer is sowing a seed, anticipating the Lakshmi will come.
Yes.
But due to the environmental factors,
Yes.
the Lakshmi has gone away from the farmer's field.
Yes.
What do you say in that context?
What is he doing? He is relying on an unreliable resource.
Correct.
You can't tell the share market that, you know what, I wanted the customers to come, but the customers didn't come, so I'm sorry. The investor won't listen to that. So you have to decide what you want to be, and therefore you get into a debt trap. So you have to figure out a way to decide, how will I succeed whether the rain comes or does not come? Because that's what the investor is looking at. Whether the rain comes or does not come, you better give return on investment. What changes should be made in the curriculum of MBA to include this belief? Well, I believe that it's currently when I've spoken to a lot of MBA schools, the difference is the question what is being asked in their school is how to do it. The question is how. Nobody asks the question why. Why should I do it? The method of training today seems to be about how. It's all about how. And you have to just assume that because it is done, and that is a very dangerous thing, because its how is based on past data. Case study itself is based on the past. But if you ask the question why, then you understand the principles, or what in Sanskrit is called tattva. And if you know the principles, it doesn't matter what the market is. It doesn't matter what the future scenario will look like. You will be able to handle it better. And I think that's the fundamental shift that many business schools have to do, from how to how and why. In fact, the more why you understand, the better how it becomes.
Does your presentation finally boils down to the fact that we should not look at profits, we should look at doing only a good business?
No, I would be a fool to say that. I said focus on employability, the profit will come. That's all I'm saying. In fact, more profit will come, maybe double the profit will come.
Don't you feel that when you do a good business, profit will be automatic? It is a byproduct?
So I don't know what a good business is. I don't know what a good business is. I'm not speaking in moral terms. I'm not speaking in ethical terms. I'm simply saying, if you know who your customer is, just focus on that. In this particular case example, focus on their employability. Is that good business? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know whether it's good or bad. This presentation is not about good or bad. It's about options. The option is to look at the person or to look at what he has. And that's all it is about. If you think this is a moral, ethical presentation, then I think you're looking at orange robes over here. There are no orange robes over here. At the end of the day, my fee is based on the top line and bottom line. And I'm looking at the business and I'm saying, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, numbers or people? And that shift in gaze has a dramatic impact on how the business is run. Now, what the business is a different conversation altogether. That is not this presentation. What is your vision statement? Imagine if the vision statement is, I want to create a school